I decided to become a chef after having been cooking all my life and really getting into those Betty Crocker cookbooks and finding out the proper way to make things, you know, from scratch. And I just always enjoyed cooking. Never occurred to me that it was something I could do for a living. I'd had a series of just, I don't know, jobs I didn't enjoy, and so then I decided to go to culinary school to fine-tune my skills, and ever since then I have been loving what I do. I like making people happy with food. I think I'd have to say butter. It makes everything richer, makes everything taste better, makes everything browner. Granted, you can't put it in everything, but almost everything. I started out cooking with butter. I know these days people like to go with all sorts of other products. Not a fan of margarine. It's plastic. And also with the whole French cooking kind of a thing, they like to finish sauces and that sort of thing with butter because it gives them a nice gloss. I just like cooking with butter. I guess I like cooking in general, but I'd have to say butter. Well, obviously tasting is a big part of it, but mostly it's knowing what to taste for. You know, just to say that it tastes good isn't really enough. You know, obviously if it's supposed to be cold, it needs to be cold. If it's supposed to be hot, it needs to be the right temperature. But it's the balance of like the acid and the salt and all those sorts of things kind of come together. Maybe a little bit of bitter in there. What's it supposed to taste like versus what does it need? You know what I mean? So I usually taste things several times as I'm going through, unless I've cooked it so many times that I can just do it by heart. But yeah, and I really have to make anyone who's working under me taste a lot too. And I ask them, okay, so what do you think this needs? So it's a lot of training too. Oh boy, last weekend on Earth, yikes. I guess for two reasons I'd have to go with Portland, Oregon. One, because I'm from there, and two, because obviously last weekend on Earth, where would I want to be? And secondly, because they have such a wide variety of fresh things there. I mean, you know, there's the wines, there's all the fruits and berries and the fish and great cheeses. Everything comes from there that's good. And I'm not prejudiced. But also, the chefs there have a way of bringing out the best of fresh foods without overdoing it, making everything taste like it's supposed to without getting all fancy, and you can get pretty much any kind of cuisine you want there. The first thing that comes to my mind, it wasn't actually like cooking per se, but it was while I was in the kitchen and cleaning up, and I was trying to clean out one of those pastry tips, and didn't have a brush or anything, and so I like stuck my finger in there, and then I couldn't get it out because it's got those little sharp edges, and it's one of those moments where you feel so incredibly stupid, you know, when you're supposed to be the chef, right? And so I was just laughing at the same time, trying not to like freak out because I seriously could not get my finger out of there. It was terrible.